Amen? Men, can we talk? The March edition. The theme for this month's edition is, and the man waxed great. And the man was great. And this morning we'll be talking about entrepreneurship. So we trust God that at the end of this interview, you will have been inspired, you will have been motivated, you will have had the impetus to take up the challenge in front of you. And we know that God will do the best in your life in Jesus' name. Please permit me to welcome our guest, Dr. Mark Akhabue. Put your hands together as he comes up. You're welcome, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let's meet Dr. Mark as I read his profile. Dr. Mark Akhabue is currently the MD CEO of Jendol Nigeria Limited, operators of Jendol Superstores and Jendol petrol stations. Dr. Mark started his business conglomerate 7 years ago. His current business interests cut across petroleum downstream sector, retail and distribution sector, through shopping malls and bureau de change. Jendol Superstores is flagship business, which started operation in November 5, 2016, just about 7 years ago. In Egbeda, had grown over the 6 years to 7 million shopping malls in Lagos. That's a good place to start. It's not a small thing. To his credit, he has also established 2 petrol stations in Lagos here. You need to put your hands together for him. He also has a business interest in bureau de change. So we'll ask him some questions about dollars today. Jendol Nigeria Limited currently has over 800 employees working for them. 860 to be exact. That is not a small business. Dr. Mark started his career with Rail Ad Limited in 2000 as the company's finance manager before joining Virgin Nigeria in 2005. Mark joined Virgin Nigeria Airline in 2005 as one of the pioneering team members and rose through the ranks to become head of treasury. Disengaging from the organization in 2009, he was the group head of finance and admin. Between 2009 and 2012 at Advantium Oil, he joined Hygiene Nigeria Limited, which is under the Lagoon Group of Hospitals, in 2012 and disengaged as financial controller in 2016. What a journey. Dr. Mark obtained a BSc degree in accounting from Edo State University in 1997. He became a chartered accountant in 2006, as well as being an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. In 2002, Mark obtained a master's in business administration from the University of Calabar. He was conferred with a doctorate degree, Doctor of Science in Business, by European American University, Commonwealth of Dominica, in 2020. That's why I called him Dr. Mark. He is also a honorary fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Researchers and Administrators. Started business with 82 million naira as capital base, and has grown to a capital base of over 2 billion naira. 2 billion naira. Try that for size. You know what we're talking about. Beloved, I told you earlier on he started with 26 staff. Today he has 860 staff in his employment. Dr. Mark is married to Mrs. Kemi Akhabue, and they are blessed with 4 children. Please, people, let's celebrate this amazing. You are welcome, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Wow, what a journey it has been.
Yes, sir.
But I know you are doing well in the corporate line of business as an accountant. So what happened that pushed you out to go and sort yourself out in the world of business?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Standing on all protocols, I want to say I'm so grateful for this opportunity, this platform. I'm not taking it for granted. Big Daddy, thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity. And to my lovely pastor, Rotimi Olukorede, I want to say thank you for your mentorship and everything that you've done for us. Well, now going to what pushed me out of paid service. I have always had this feeling I have more capacity to do more than what the paid service opportunity will provide for you. As an accountant, you are restricted, in quotes, on reporting, analysis of the business. How is it going? And you report to somebody. Now you have a limitation because no matter how you analyze to give results, if the owner of the business is not in agreement with you, he will not accept it. He has the option of whether to accept it or not. So there was this growing desire that, come on, you can do more than this. You are reporting to somebody, you have so much ideas, but it may not just be taken. As a matter of fact, in my first place of work, I remember the owner of the business on an incident, and he told me, Mark, you cannot love the company more than the owner. It was such a very painful thing for me, but then, really, if you think you want to love the company, set up your own, you know. So that was one. Then the second one, which I know a lot of people will not be authentic about this, but I have always loved a good life. I've always envisioned a future that is beautiful. I have always wished that I could afford things, you know, that you want to afford. Not, I have got to save for a long time before I get what I want. You know, because if you have a beautiful life envisioned, and you think and meditate about it on a daily basis, you don't need anybody to tell you to leave paid employment. For me, and I think it's also very popular saying, paid employment is very good, it's very fantastic. It will make you rich, it will make you comfortable. But when you have a business of your own, then you'll be wealthy. To be wealthy is different from paid, is different from being rich, you know. Being wealthy, you don't have to suffer so much before you get what you want. So if an envisioned beautiful life will propel you to do that. Wow. Then I think I also leverage my opportunity as a paid employment person to experiment, you know, and that is the advice I'll be leaving with a lot of people today, especially for our brothers that are in paid employment. It is for a time. It is not forever. When you leverage it to be able to experiment your ability on businesses, what it does for you is that it gives you a succor, a comfort, that if you make mistakes, you still have your paid employment to bounce back on. By the time I was leaving my paid employment, by the grace of God, my outside businesses were paying double of my salary. So at that point that I was leaving, I wasn't leaving paid employment to go and start afresh or begin to think of what to do. I was leaving paid employment to manage more resources, to expand, to build capacity, because there was an existing platform for me to go into. And of course, giving has always been part of me. By the grace of God, the teaching from the church, I've always thought that when you are in business, you have more to give. As of today, I feel fulfilled. I feel very happy seeing the people that are working in my establishment. Some are marrying, some are going to school, some are, you know, doing different things. It just gives you some satisfaction. So for me, those were the main reasons why I had to leave paid employment. And it has been wonderful.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. I was going to ask you, so because you in your intro you said You already started a side business that at a point they were now. I was going to ask you, how did you start the Jendol group?
Yes.
Now, you hinted us a bit. Can you expatiate further on?
Okay. Jendol group vision came something I would call so supernatural. I had started other businesses, the filling station. I've started the filling station. As a matter of fact, my first business was in Virgin, Nigeria, where I was a dry cleaner. I wasn't really a dry cleaner per se, but I sit down, I look at my pay slip, and with my vision future, I'm asking myself, is this what will give me that future that I have in my mind? And one of these days, I just went to one of the dry cleaners in my church, and I said, I can be your marketing manager. And then we agreed, signed document. As a matter of fact, we signed this document in my pastor's house, and then we started business. All I did was to advertise dry cleaning to the group of people I was working with. We're over 800 or close to 1,000. By the end of that business venture, that first month, I made more than my salary. So it just got done on me that this is the way to go. And then I started the filling station. Filling station was because I worked in an Advantium oil and gas. Another thing I want to say, where you work, what can you take out of it? Because you are working, you are serving somebody. You are in apprenticeship. You should be able to learn something so that when you get out, you will be able to do something for yourself. So that happened, and we commissioned 2. But I knew that was not the destination I wanted to go, because even though filling station was also still very good, but I knew there was much more than it. Then I did something very radical. You may not believe it. I take my case as that of Jacob fighting the angel to get blessing. And if you remember that scripture, the Bible says that he fought God until God blessed him. So for me, there are certain things you pray. There are some that are very fundamental to your life, especially starting a business, marrying wives, and all of that. And you have to take it further, fasting and prayer. Then this particular 2015 December, our normal way of submitting our prayers, 7-point prayers. And I told my wife, I said, we prayed enough. I just need a direction. I want to hear from God. And I said, today, when Pastor called for prayers, we are not going there to be writing, help me with good health, help me with accommodation. We are going to go there to say, give us a business idea that will outlive us. And you know what I did? I wrote it 7 times. The same thing. Honestly, you might think that rock will not break when water is dropping on it. But when there is intensity, it breaks. I wrote it 7 times, and I took it with my wife, and then we dropped it inside the box. And then we went back home and started praying. We had asked God for a business that will outlive us, a transgenerational business. That was it. And that was what broke the yoke. In May or so, I had a dream. By the grace of God, I'm blessed with the gift of dreams. I had a dream, and what did I see? I saw myself in my village, and I was in an open market. And we were selling things, but people were not coming to buy from us. And my wife was bothered and said, what is going on? And I said, don't worry, they will buy from us. And I woke up. By my understanding of my dream, first of all of those things that happened in that dream were going to be opposite. Because even if it is by my certificate of chartered accountant, I can work in any of your establishments. I do not need to go back to the village. So I told her, I said, I have seen it, but I'm not too clear. Then one day we went to a shopping mall. As I drove in, and she was going to buy some grocery, the Spirit of God just told me, this is it. Open markets represent closed markets in an enclosure. That we are not selling represent that we will sell in abundance. And that we were in my village represent that I can never go back to my village. I am not saying I won't go back when I'm old, but I can't go back to my village in search of livelihood. So it was very clear. So I told her, I said, this is it. Please, while you do your grocery, let me find out the owner. And I met a manager of blessed memory because we lost her in February 7th, Mrs. Ahmed. She was the manager of that place, and I walked back to her and I said, please, this is the business I want to do. Can you teach me? That again is another thing. People go into businesses without even knowing what they are going into businesses for. You need to learn it. You need to understand it. You know, and she gave me an appointment. For 1.5 months, we were doing back and front, training here and there, coming to my house, going to her house, and then she taught me retail. At this time, I was still in paid employment. I had no slightest idea that I was going to be doing retail. So when we talk in the committee of friends, I tell them, I said, mine is not like yours. Because I was given the vision straight away, and I know that God cannot lie. And not just that he gave us vision, he also gave us vision helpers in the place of Mrs. Ahmed and the rest of the dedicated staff that will, you know, do anything to make sure that it succeeds. So that was how I got the vision of Jendol Superstore.
Excellent, 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 excellent. I've just been informed that something we missed out from his profile. Dr. Mark was also a recipient of Big Daddy's Men of Honor Award.
Yes.
He was one of the recipients of Men of Honor Award. Now, the way you are saying this thing, it sounds as if you just a walk in the park. I know you must have gone through challenges.
Yes.
Can you share with us some of these challenges and how you overcame them?
Okay. One of the first challenges would have been, which is the normal thing that everybody cries about, raising a fund for business. For me, fundraising for business is secondary. What is primary that I think we can take away today is how do you make all the method of fundraising that you embark on? Why is it not working? Why is it not working? You know, we wake up and we say, oh, we want to borrow money for business. The first question that comes to mind is that, or you want to raise money for business, or the business is not succeeding. The first question that comes to mind is, what do you know about that business? Somebody is sitting in front of you and is telling you, please, can you borrow me money for business? And you ask a single question. How do you understand this business? And it's a problem. Okay, I just know that it makes money. You want to experiment with somebody else's money? You will not get it. The second one could be reputation. Over the years, what kind of life have you lived? For me, by the grace of God, if I want to raise money today, I don't think it will take such a long time raising the money. Why? Because there is a platform. Apart from the banks, apart from the other financial institutions, even friends and family will be ready to finance you because they believe in your reputation. Because they know that when you say yes, it is a yes. But unfortunately, a lot of us, even in Christendom, I'm sorry to say, is that we do not have that reputation. If you want to take a loan from somebody, from a friend, the first thing he will be looking at is my money going to come back? So, and I go to say, people invest in you first. People invest in people first before your business idea. If you come with a very beautiful business idea, as you are discussing and looking at me, I'm looking at your history. Who are you? What have you done in the past? Do I relate you with goodness or I relate you with, bad behaviors and all of that? And I will withdraw any help I want to give to you. So raising finance, of course, it was an issue. There was a time that we tried to raise finance, and one day, myself and my wife, we called over 30 people. 30 people, friends and family, and there was nothing. Of course, it's not because they didn't believe in you, but at that time, really, they are not too sure. Exactly. And apart from that, they may not also have it. Because again, we have this mindset that, oh, anybody that is a little okay, he has the money and he just doesn't want to give me. But if you keep an open mind to say, yes, I will give, or let me help, but let me ask. If he's able to give, thank God. If not, I'll go to the next person. This is not exaggeration. I write out a list of 30 people almost on a daily basis, and I call for help. Nobody will say yes. But that shouldn't kill an entrepreneurial spirit. You must, first of all, have an undying spirit, the passion to kickstart it. For me, if I cannot get the money from friends and family, what about partnership? Then I throw myself open to a lot of people in my church. Please, I'm looking for a partner. I want to start a business. I'm looking for partnership. Of course, when you are going into partnership, because of the Nigeria we are today, you have every I and every T dotted and crossed. But it is one of the easier ways you can get started. Then what about, I remember my first attempt into business, I was earning 11,000 naira in my first place of work. But by the time I was leaving that company, I had over 12 bikes in railway compound. How did I do it? I sat down and I asked myself, if I constitute an ajo, as common as ajo, and you establish it, and you tell people, let me be the first partaker. And I took it, and I bought a bike. That bike paid back the ajo, and multiplied itself. So there are so many ways you can raise funds, really. Then the other challenge will be, when you share your vision with people, especially the wrong people, you are probably going to be discouraged. So you need to be selective of who you are sharing your vision with. Then you have got to understand that at that point, there is nothing like ego. For me, I call it recklessly looking for help. You have no identity. You have no ego trying to raise funds. A lot of people talk to you and they say, oh, can you help me? And then they are telling the other man, can you imagine? Look at the way he was talking to me. If you had the money, why did you come to the man? So there is no ego. You don't have identity. As far as you are concerned, you have traded your identity and your ego for the bet of your business. So so it gets to that point that you are so convinced that even the man you are talking to will think that tomorrow his money is going to come back. Because of the way your conviction is infectious. It's something that you are not in doubt of. First, be convinced about yourself. Pull your ego down. Pull your ego down. Let me give you a little classical example. My first filling station, they said it was going to cost 25,000 naira, for a lease of 5 years. I had 25 million naira. I had 5 million or 6 million because then I had gotten a partner. I had 6 million on me, and I said, can I see the owner of the filling station? As far as I'm concerned, he's a human being. He probably might just have a good heart to help a young man. I got to his office with all the agents, and they opened the door. This is not these are things that happened. They opened the door, and they all went in. I stayed by the door. He was an old man. He owns a bank in the Yaba side, and he said, who is this that is not coming? I laid down on the floor, and I said, Daddy, I won't stand up until you guarantee me you are going to help me. It was ridiculous. It was, for the agent, it was embarrassing. But for me, the zeal to get it started was beyond laying down. And then he said, stand up. You are just behaving like what I did when I was about to start my business those days. That was what he said. Wow. And then I went to him, and I sat down by his side. He said, what is your name? And I told him. He said, you want to do oil and gas business? I said, yes. He said, do you understand this? I said, yes. And I started showing him my cash flow and everything. He said, I think you seem to know what you are doing. And then he said, okay, what do you have? I said, I understand. He said, it's 5 years. I can only do 2 years. Out of fear, I couldn't tell him I don't even have up to 2 years. So I said, I can only do 2 years. And then I said, I have 10 million I will give to you. Just allow me do it for 2 years. And he said, okay. What do you do? I said, I'm an accountant. You are a chartered accountant? I said, yes, sir. He said, that is my profession. For the fact that you're an accountant, you are trying to leave pay job, I'll give it to you.
Wow.
And he broke it. So it's about your passion. It's about your tenacity to be able to kickstart something. And you know what that man did? Till today, I still call him my father in business. Is that he told me, he said, Mark, go and start the business. When you do it for 6 months, you are fine, I will lodge in your checks. But if you do it for 6 months, you do not like it, I will return your checks. And he kept my checks. And I went back, I did that business. By the time we were in the fourth, fifth month, there came fuel scarcity. And it was amazing. And I went back to him, I said, Daddy, can I increase to 10 years? He said, no, Mark, you don't do business like that. Stay with the 2 years that you are paid for, so that I can increase my rents. Now you are enjoying it, I will lodge my check. You know? So it's about passion. It's about tenacity. It's about you knowing that what you want to do, the conviction that, yes, I need to do this and I can die for the cause. So you always have issues, but the grace of God is sufficient for us to overcome it.
Excellent, 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 excellent. Now, apparently you have been successful in your various businesses. What would you say are the success ingredients that you live by that has helped you to build all these businesses across different sectors?
Yeah. Okay, thank you, sir. They are very simple. I'm an accountant. I do a lot of modeling. You know, when I was in pay job, we do a lot of modeling. But I remember my then CFO would tell me, Mark, enough of modeling. Let us face the reality. I'm not going to take you through modeling. I'm going to tell you basic things. I remember that time in Virgin Nigeria, putting a model down. And then while we were examining that model, they told us that the plane could not fly because there was no aviation fuel. And then my CFO said, will your model recognize this? So it's simple. There are values that you want to imbibe for success of business. One of the most important values is your investment in your human capital. It is so essential. It is a guarantee that when you have your human capital fully invested in, then you are going to have people or a team that will want to die for you. First, let your employees see their vision be accomplished inside your own vision. Let me take that again. Let your employee, let them see that they can accomplish their own vision while trying to accomplish your own vision. What that means is that they are not just your employee. You go beyond looking at the employee-employer relationship. Ask personal questions. What is your progress? What do you want to become in life? Oh, I want to work for you. Yes. How long are you working for us? Are you satisfied to stay with us? They have their vision. Everybody has a vision, no matter how small. Even the janitors, even the bricklayer, everybody has a vision. So if you are not able to help them accomplish their vision, then of course they will run their own vision. And that is very fundamental because they will run their vision against your own vision. So you must be very particular about that. Make them part of your decision making. Let them have the feel that they are part of the decision making. Let them have this feel that, okay, they don't just make decisions and put it on my lap. They are not robots. They have initiative. They may not exactly tell you what you want, but at least hear them. There was a management meeting we had sometime, and then I was asking opinion from everybody. And then one of the person that just newly joined us, he stood up and he was looking at me. And I kept asking him, what is your opinion? And he was just looking. And then after some time, he said, sir, he said, you won't believe it. I have never in my life been asked an opinion from where I'm coming from. That is deep. For me and for him, this is a family. This is our own. So we've got to work it out together and make it work. It's as simple as that. Make yourself accessible. Make yourself accessible. I mean, you are becoming a monster because of the little money you have. A janitor sees you, your staff sees you, they go into hiding. You will never know the contribution that even those lower cadre of staff can give you. As much as we are, even the janitors, even the drivers, they have direct access to my phone. They can send me contributions, they can send me ideas that I will just go to management meeting and I start spilling it out. Build a team that will complement your strengths. You have strength, yes, you are an entrepreneur, but you also agree with me that you do not have all the knowledge in the world. You definitely cannot say, I know everything. Allow people to contribute what they are good at. As long as you take care of their interests and their vision, like I told you before, they will definitely contribute to your strengths. Now, last time, one of our managers, when he joined us, he told us, he said, my first ambition after here is to relocate. And today he's in UK. He has relocated. We are part sponsor of that venture. That is the vision I'm talking about. We leave a platform where the good staff can go to school and then they come back to come and work. In other words, when they are coming for holiday, they know that there is a place for them to work. How comforting. You know, a lot of things. Train them. Ensure that there is a tangible addition to their life. When you ensure that there is a tangible addition to a staff life, definitely you will get the best from him. Excellent. But if you just, all you do is exploit, give me, and you don't think of how you are giving back to them, then you probably will be having a problem. Celebrate them, respect them. Respect your workforce. It will guarantee retainership. It will make them stay with you. As I speak today, over 860 staff, each of them birthday is celebrated with 5,000 naira. It is nothing by the special grace of God. But you need to know how important that celebration is to them. When it is their birthday, you see pictures. They go to studio, take a beautiful photograph, come back and say, it's my birthday. And they are looking towards that 5,000 naira for their cake. So all of those things, they amount to success in business. And of course, when you look at my background, you also know that I will be looking at figures, I will be looking at profitability, I'll be looking at reporting, accounting, and all of that. Keep records of your activities. People do business and they do business in their pockets. And you say, oh, you are doing business. You are not doing business. Because every detail of your expenditure should be accounted for. If you do that, definitely you are going to have a very clear direction of where you are going. Am I making profit? Am I making progress or not? Thank you very much.
Excellent, 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 excellent. I hope we are getting value from this interview. Please, at this point, I would like to say, if you have one or two questions from the audience, online or on-site, they can pass it to the coordinators to get to me, and we'll take them in our stride. Thank you. Now, let's continue, sir. You've talked about staff loyalty. We also know that there are some staff that are very difficult and disloyal. How do you deal with that?
Yes, they are ever there. Even Jesus Christ has Judas. They are ever there. It is natural. For me, I categorize my workforce, and it's applicable anywhere. If you try it, you will see it. They are into two types. There are the strong-willed, they don't need any motivation. If you like, motivate them. If you like, don't motivate them. They will give you the best. There are also another group, there's also another group that is strong-willed, who are just negative, the one you are talking about. Let's hypothetically put it as 30%, 30%. Yeah? Now, there is this group of staff who are undecided. They really do not decide. They are not strong-willed. Where the breeze blows, that is where they go. So take it at 35%. And then when you have that, your motivational activities, your good people-oriented policy will naturally take those undecided people into the side of the very good-willed people. So you have 75%, because now you have 35% who you have been able to win to your side, and then you also have 30% who naturally are good. When you have that, then it becomes a source for you to fight the ones that are naturally bad. Because the more, and of course, when you see them, those that are not good, you can make attempt to reform. You can set, of course, there's appraisal process. Okay, one-on-one. Okay, why are you doing this and all of that? If you have tried that, and you have also used the strategy that I've just told you to overpower them, and they are still not giving the best, then you remove them from the system. Because it's like cancer. Once you allow it to spread, if it's in one place and you allow it to spread, it will spread to places that you did not think they will spread to. So once they are identified and you genuinely tried your best, train them, mentor them, and they are still not changing, then you remove them from the system. Technically, Judah was removed from the system. I mean, even though it didn't come directly from Jesus Christ by himself, but he was removed by himself because he was so adamant and he became so bad. Yeah. So definitely the first thing is identify them, liaise with them, engage them, mentor them, and then remove.
Excellent, 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 excellent. Now, from your business portfolio, you are into oil and gas, you are into the retail business, you are into build the change. They all have different entry levels and all that. Yes. Talk to us, how did you get into the build the change business? How did you even get into it?
Okay, build the change was just as an entrepreneur. It's good to have a flagship business, but it's also good to have stream of businesses. Yeah. So my getting into Build the Change was a platform laid down by my wife. She was in the banking sector, and she was opportune to work in the forest aspect of it. And every day she comes and she tells me, this is what is going on. And we just felt, okay, why not? Then we can begin to look at the Build the Change aspect of it. And luckily for me, I had a friend that was also into Build the Change. And that, again, is something I want to leave. You must not be friend to everybody. You know, you can love everyone, as the Bible says, but I don't necessarily need to become your friend. You know, I was lucky I had a friend that was into Build the Change, and I kept asking for, please teach me, tell me what to do, this and that, and it was so easy getting into Build the Change with his help. So that was what happened. Then in entering that Build the Change, it wasn't a big issue for me. But for the retail business, of course, it's something that you expect because it is a lot of competition. Yes. It's a lot of price war. It's a lot of... So when we were entering with certain strategies. One, what is it that other retail businesses are not doing that we need to do? If you enter any of the Jendol stores, one of the key things you will notice is the ambience. Make it entertaining. Let people feel that, okay, they are in games, they are in ShopRite. You don't really need to travel to Lekki or Ikoyi before you get into a very beautiful ambience. We invest so much in it. In fact, our first branch, I remember, which is in Egbeda, there is a market that stays very close to us there. The Igbo boys in the hot afternoon We run into my shop, and you see them say, thank God for Jendol Superstores. You know? So that just became something that everybody was there. And obviously, that made the crowd to start coming in. You know? Do something out of the ordinary. The cooling was extraordinary. Then we went into varieties. A lot of things that you can't find in other businesses, in other retail men, you will find it in Jendol. I've been in somewhere before where the man said, oh, I can't find this, and the other person said, have you been to them? They sell anything, you will get it. You know? So, variety of goods. We're entering with that strategy. Variety of goods. Then you are entering with price sensitivity. People are already selling what you are selling. So you cannot be coming with high prices and you expect that they will come and buy from you. You are not an angel. So you've got to do something that will make them have value and say, okay, at least this is why I am changing where I'm buying from. You know, availability of product is so key. I give you an example. When you talk about, for example, you have a particular place where you buy your fuel, you know, for your motor vehicle, and you move from Ikoyi, your fuel is almost finished. I say, no, I've got to buy from where I normally buy. When you get there, you don't find it. It is most devastating. Yeah. But because you know you always find it, you always come. If you don't find it the first day, the second day you don't find it, the third day you will not come back there. So for us, success story in all of this, then you look at again your supplier, the source of your raw materials. People, for me, you need to be very careful about what we call in accounting financial mismatch. Financial mismatch, I will explain it a little. Financial mismatch is something that you take a long-term source of income or a short-term source of income to finance a long-term project. Yes. If you do that, it is financial suicide. You find people taking short-term loans to go and finance an asset that will not yield money for you, that will not make you, get the return immediately. Then you are going to nosedive. So those were some of the key areas. And then, of course, the recording aspect of it, like I said, the accounting, evaluations, and all of that. Those were some of the success factors.
Excellent. You know, from your story, you are obviously a man that is not ashamed to go on your knees, dirty your hands, go for training, continually, personally developing yourself. What advice would you give to those who want to go? Maybe they have a regular job now, but they are aspiring to go into their own kind of business. What advice would you give to this kind of people?
Yes. All right, sir. I think in the course of my talking, I will have mentioned some of them, but one of the first one is the best time to attempt to have your business is when you have a paid job. That is the best time. Because with a paid job, you can experiment. You can see that, yes, even if you have a default or you fail in your attempt, there is something to bounce back on. The next one is you should put down your ego. You want to start a business, you don't even understand the business, then you are not humble enough to learn. And then you take somebody's money or the little resources that you have gathered, and then you plunge it into a business you do not understand. Even the Bible says that in our scriptures. It says that study to show yourself approved. A man that needs not to be ashamed, but rightfully dividing the word of truth. What does that mean? It is clear. You've got to understand what you are going into before you go into it. You've got to understand that if your money is going to go down the drain or you borrow the money, it's basically because of your inability to understand your business. Then the other one is do the business that you can have control over. It is so amazing that people will get money or get funding and they go into a business that the technical know-how is in the hand of another man. You must not necessarily start a business, no matter how big it is, where you do not have a control of that business. Because at the formative stage of a business, it requires micromanaging. You must be able to give your whole life, your whole idea, because first of all, it's supposed to be your vision. So it is those aspects of the business you may not have the technical know-how that you can get a partner. I give you an example. My bakery today, I'm proud to say that in the whole of Alimosho mainland, we have the best bread. But I do not bake bread, but I'm the owner of the bakery. It's a simple analogy, it's a simple model. You get a baker, he bakes your bread, fantastic. Then you pay him salary. Then tomorrow he moves away with the recipe, which you do not have. Then you get another baker, your quality in your bread is going up and down. What did I do? I just told him, please, we can partner. Simple. He's on profit sharing. He's not on salary. So he doesn't even think of exiting my business. And as I speak today, like I said before, allowing him to fulfill his vision in your vision, he's been able to open a bottled water company from the bakery. I don't have a bottled water company, but we discuss it together. Wow. We finance it together. We plan it together. The man is fulfilling his vision inside your vision. So those are some of the things that you must take very key.
This is a very funny one. Somebody said, thank you, sir. I love the color of your tie.
That is the color.
He said it's the color of Jendol Supermarket.
Correct.
Can you quickly say something? This same person is asking, can you quickly say something about branding? And what's the name of your filling station?
Okay. Now, let me start from the filling station. The filling stations, Jendol Superstore, Jendol Nigeria Limited, is under the professional and the bigger marketers, Adova. I have 2 filling stations that are Adova. So we don't have Jendol standing as a name. I hope you know you can do that. Oh, yes. You can have a company that is into filling station, and then for now, you can stay under a brand that you know that is got the cloud to move things forward. So you will not see Jendol filling station yet. We are in that process. But for now, we are enjoying what needs to be enjoyed as far as Adova is concerned. Okay, now the other question is the branding.
Yes.
Branding is key. Is about packaging. You can have all the knowledge in the world. If you do not know how to present it, it probably will die with you. So you need the visibility beyond every other person. Yeah. Now, I'm sure that is why you're able to notice that my tie is purple, because that is the color of Jendol. Branding is what speaks to the outsider first. It's first impression before they begin to look at the content. Branding is, I don't know how to explain it, because if you do not have a correct branding or the correct, the way it should be branded that will attract people first to come to you, you probably will not even have somebody to tell what you have got. So for me, branding is fine. When we were looking at the color of Jendol, it was taken as purpose because we believe it is royalty. We believe that as purple and its royalty, you are there to help others. You are there to lead. You are there to be the leader in all that you do. So our purple branding is very key to us, and by the grace of God, it has been very attractive for a lot of people.
Okay, as we begin to, we're almost done. I wish you have more time. This person is asking, for those of us who are in paid employment, working for the federal government, and we are not allowed to do any extra business except farming, what's your advice in owning our own business?
Okay. I don't know. There are some things that they talk about fronting or things like that.
Partnership.
Yes, partnership. You know, You can't own your own business, but you can partner. You can't own your own business, but you can invest in a business that is going on. So if farming is even what is allowed, why don't you invest in it? Because, of course, they allowed that because it's a contributor to the national development. Yeah. So for me, it is better you invest on that farming that is even legitimately allowed. If you know there are some background, some investment going on right now on farming investment and all of that. If you know what people are making out of it. I have a friend that is a CFO in one of these very big organizations. And he's into farming. He's into poultry. I've been to his farm. It's about 2 acres. And he's a CFO. He doesn't, in fact, Emefiele too, in fact, they share boundary in the Mowe side of this. They share boundary. He's into farming. So the first thing is, do the one that you will not be offending your ethics of the business, of your pay job, but you are still able to participate in the meantime. Farming is one of them. Partnership is one of them. Investing in a business is one of them. Then, like I said, you might not even have to start big. You can start small. The problem is when you start small and you remain small. Yeah. You can start through your wife. You can start through your relation. But it is something that when you leave your work, weekends, you are able to go there and do stock taking and know what is going on, even though you are not there. So it is something that is doable, and that is my advice for you.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Unfortunately, our time is up, but I would like to ask you, what is your last word for the audience today as we round up?
Okay. My last word, I want to take it from the scripture. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. And it says that weapon of our warfare is not carnal, but they are strong through God, pulling down strongholds. Yeah? And it further says that it brings imagination. I'm just going to explain it now. Yes. It brings down imagination, the bringing down of imaginations in your hearts. Because what we suffer is that we have imaginations in our heart of negativity. You see yourself that you are not up to. Meanwhile, the knowledge of God that dwells in you says that you are a giant. The knowledge of God that dwells in you says that I will bless you and I will make you a blessing. Yes. When you have faith and there is no action, what does it amount to? Nothing. The truth of the matter is not about the hearing and hearing, but it's about the doing. Excellent. Be desperate to take yourself out of the level you are. Yes. We are the salt of the world. Yes. We are supposed to show the way. We are not meant to be followers. Big Daddy keeps saying, head or tail, you are a winner. Yeah. He has said it more than 1 million times. What out of it have you taken? Excellent. One of the things that propelled me into these business things is one, even though it's something I will never forget. Our pastor kept talking about grace revolution, and all of that. And I asked myself every day, I am supposed to be a Christian, and people are making exploits. Why can't I? We have double-edged sword. You have the word of God, which backs you up. And then you have the intelligence. If a chartered accountant stays down and is here and is not a believer, I'm a chartered accountant. Then we deal with it. Then I have an edge, which is the grace of God. Excellent. So why won't you be able to translate those two advantages to become what you want to become?
Excellent. Put your hands together for Dr. Mark Akhabue. Come on, let's celebrate him. Let's celebrate him. Thank you, Dr. Mike.
Thank you,
our
sir.
time is up, and we trust God that we have been a blessing to our people today. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Oh.